Kiwis love being outdoors, so why not transform your outdoor living space with a Sunview? With our quality range of stylish pergolas, outdoor blinds and awnings, having a Sunview is like adding a new room to your home, but for a fraction of the price. Enjoy the outdoors all year round with a range of products to suit your needs. Book a free consultation now with Sunview and see the difference.
As you know, in the cabinet reshuffle he did earlier this year, Chris Luxon got rid of Shane Reti, who many I thought felt was doing quite a good job as the Minister of Health, and he put in the wonder kid, Simeon Brown. As you know, health is one of the most followed and concerning issues for New Zealanders consistently in political polls. Labor went through a period of trying to re-centralise health, get rid of the DHBs and fight a pandemic all at the same time. Our next guest is someone who criticised that as being an unfocused reform without clearly defined outcomes. We now have a new minister who is going on about how much more money is being spent in our health system, but we have health unions for obvious reasons and opposition parties saying it is all a disaster, it is all terrible, people are dying, A&E waiting times are through the roof. Such a politicised issue. What is the truth? Where are we at with our health system? Emeritus Professor Des Gorman, the country's leading public health expert, joins us by phone now. Des, lovely to talk with you again. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Sean. How about yourself?
Yep, cracking on. Busy as. Look, Des, obviously there's been some change. I just want to first talk about why Reti went, because it didn't seem to me he was doing such a bad job.
No, look, Shane is a delightful man. He would be one of the nicest people you'll meet anywhere, anytime. He was designed to be health minister, really. A Maori man, GP, Harvard graduate, Harkness fellow. I mean, he really was purpose-built to be Minister of Health. But the problem for Shane is that he just didn't cut through with the health unions and particularly the health officials. So I think as the opinion polls showed, health usually in the top 3 or 4 issues for New Zealanders, but that the public thought that the opposition could do a better job than Shane was doing. I think his days became numbered. So I think Shane became a victim of opinion polls.
Yeah.
And Shane was also a victim of recidivist officials and unions. And look, frankly, the idea that if we throw more money at health, it will suddenly get better, that is spectacularly
You've always maintained that and explained why that's such a dumb idea. I don't think anyone disagrees with you, Des.
No, well, except it continues to be the prevailing rhetoric of the day, that the only thing the government needs to do is spend more money on health and somehow it'll
or
come
say
right.
It is. Yeah. Do you feel that that's Simeon Brown's new approach? Look at all the money we've spent without going any deeper than that.
I think he's handling the situation as well as could be handled at the moment. In that regard, he's making the right noises. He's certainly pointing in the right places, like general practice and community care and greater accessibility after hours for services in the community as compared to more hospital spend. So those are all the right noises. He's met with all the various movers and shakers in health, and they have given him their opinion on what he needs to do next. He clearly has listened to some and not listened to others.
Yeah.
Now, Simeon is unfettered by any deep knowledge of the health system, but he's also unencumbered by it too. So he's going to come into this reasonably clear-eyed. His problem will be his own personal beliefs and his own personal attitudes towards things, which will aggravate the public health people and the health officials no end. So he's got a tough job.
Yeah. So where are we at? And I also note that a bunch of people have resigned from the health system. And I would say a bunch of people who look like they were there, as kind of DEI hires or to fulfil politically correct prescriptions about Labor's restructuring. Have we lost anyone that wasn't kind of a politicised appointment who was good?
No, I don't think we've lost anyone critical. The question I'd ask about the people that have just resigned is why didn't they resign earlier when the fiscal difficulties were clear, when the budgetary hole was clear?
Because it's bloody hard to get off the gravy train, Des.
Oh, precisely. and I think that's what this demonstrates. I think Lester did what he had to do, which was to put a floor under the hemorrhage and to reduce the outgoings, and I think he's done that. I don't think you could have Lester and a new health minister. You need one health czar. You can't have two. So I think
okay. So you think Lester's departure was really because it wasn't a fit with Simeon?
Yeah, look, I think if you and I were the new health minister, we'd be saying to our boss, listen, I don't want someone peering over my shoulder. I want to have an
But why was Reti happy to have Levy peering over his shoulder?
Look, I think what you're referring to now is Shane's intrinsic nice nature.
Okay.
Shane doesn't have an altruist, doesn't have a Machiavellian bone in his body. He would be without question one of the nicest men. He'll live anywhere, anytime. But when you're dealing with recidivist unions and officials, and you're trying to transform a health system that's just undergone a mangled reform, you can't afford to be Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay, and these are all the machinations, and of course we've had opposition politicians blah blah blahing. This is terrible. The health. Maybe had stories about weights at A&E, and of course people dying in the health system, which is as natural as the sun rising every morning. Do you feel, Des, from what you're seeing, a clearer strategy as to where we're going with health? And one thing you've always said is, what are the goals here? What are the outcomes we hope that our changes achieve? Are we any closer to having, damn it, a plan,
Yeah. Look, I think the first things I've heard come out of Simeon's mouth have made sense to me.
Yeah.
I think he's pointing in the right direction. I think the shift in emphasis to primary care is exactly what we need to do. It's very hard to undo the damage caused by that last reform. To centralise all the bureaucrats in Wellington, to disestablish all the DHPs, to take away the community voice. It's very hard to wave that sort of reform away, because that's very, very destructive. So the way to reconstruct is to start in one small area and to build. And the place to start is primary care. It is community care. It is after-hours care. It's critical care in the community. And that's where he's pointing. Mm-hmm. So there's no question he's pointing in the right direction. Whether he can take the officials with him, we'll have to wait and see. I hope he can, because we all need him to. But these officials haven't got to their positions of power by chance. They've been there for a long time, and they've been there because they know that they can wait politicians out. The opposition politicians jumping up and down and shouting shouldn't come as a great surprise to anybody. That's the nature of the beast, and I wouldn't take them too seriously, given that they are the architects of the current malaise, and they need to be reminded that the malaise has been in place for a long, long time, and so to argue that it's a creation of the last 18 months is spectacularly misleading and misinformed.
Okay, that was my other question, Des. Are we in crisis? Has it got suddenly worse since National took over? Is the health sector falling apart?
No, it's not. There are...
But the mainstream media tell me it is.
Yeah, well, it's good clickbait. It's a sort of, it's lazy journalism. You don't have to think too much about it. You can just trot out the same. Some poor woman had to wait 3 days for a leg operation and died in the meantime. I mean, that's awful. That's tragic, and that should never happen. But it's been happening since Adam.
Kiwis love being outdoors, so why not transform your outdoor living space with a sun view? With our quality range of stylish pergolas, outdoor blinds and awnings, having a sun view is like adding a new room to your home, but for a fraction of the price. Enjoy the outdoors all year round with a range of products to suit your needs. Book a free consultation now with Sunview and see the difference.